Now, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has reacted angrily to the International Criminal Court issuing a warrant for his arrest. He and former Defence Minister Yoav Gallant are accused of war crimes in Gaza and crimes against humanity, which Mr Netanyahu has labelled absurd.
I think too many people in Gaza have lost their lives. And this video, you will see the level of hypocrisy in Western capitals, especially from Hungary and from the United States of America. It's shameful. When the International Court issued warrant of arrest to the president of Russia and other African leaders, there was no problem. But now that Israel's carnage that it has caused in the country, in Gaza, and then we expect that we talk about the rule of law and a number of other things, and then Israel will cry foul, and the United States and some European countries. It is disgraceful, so to point out the level of hypocrisy. I will play some clips here so you have a picture. But first, let's listen to how the Israeli Prime Minister himself reacted to this, and then we will jump into other conversation here.
The truth is simple. No war is more just than the war that Israel has been waging in Gaza after Hamas attacked us unprovoked, launching the worst massacre against the Jewish people since the Holocaust.
The Holocaust, no doubt, was an incredible period where the barbaric behavior from the Nazi to the Jewish people. But again, we all condemn what Hamas did to the Israeli people, with over 1,000 people killed. But if you compare to the number of Palestinians, and especially children, who, for one reason or the other, with international organizations coming out and United Nations slamming the country of Israel, and Israel blockade of food, and a whole lot of other things happening, and a lot of human international experts criticizing the country of Israel. And to turn an eye on that, I think it's very disingenuous with the global community. I think South Africa, for example, has made it clear, and I think this is a big win for the country of South Africa and for other communities. We will listen to the international reaction in just a moment. So let's first of all listen to that, then we can dive into some other specifics here.
Well, as you can imagine, response to this news amongst international leaders has been mixed. Here's a flavour, starting with Hungarian Prime Minister Victor Oban, whose country is a member of the court.
There is no other choice but to defy this decision. So today I will invite Israel's Prime Minister, Mr Netanyahu, for a visit to Hungary. And in that invite, I will guarantee him that if he comes, the ICC's ruling will have no effect in Hungary, and we will not follow its contents.
We comply with national, European and international laws, so now we're examining exactly what this means for us in terms of national implementation.
So, you can hear that from international capital, Hungary in particular. You wouldn't expect that from a country which is a member of the European Union. Germany is struggling to make a decision on where to sit, and the hypocrisy continues. And the most hypocritical country of all, the United States of America, that has injected himself into this conflict in the Middle East and has caused a lot of geopolitical concern and instability in some regions. I think this is shameful for the United States to say that the International Court has no jurisdiction to this particular conflict, but the International Court has jurisdiction to the conflict happening in Sudan, in the Congo, and in other African countries, and in Russia, and in other countries around the world. This is really shameful. I think African countries should pay attention on what's going on here. The hypocrisy from the White House is shameful. Let's play this clip and we will jump into more specifics.
We fundamentally reject the court's decision to issue arrest warrants for senior Israel officials. We remain deeply concerned by the prosecutor's rush to seek arrest warrants and the troubling process errors that led to this decision. The United States has been clear that the ICC does not have jurisdiction over this matter. You've heard us say this before.
The Secretary General respects the work and the independence of the International Criminal Court, and I will leave it at that for now.
The Palestinian ambassador to the country of the Netherlands came out really strong to talk about the huge achievement for the Palestinian people. I think the country of South Africa in the continent of Africa should be hailed in a positive way based on their push, and when no one in the world could support Palestine or talk about the Palestinian problem, South Africa took it upon itself to push ahead to bring this country with huge connections to the international court. Let's listen to what the Palestinian representative, the ambassador to the Netherlands, have to say with regards to this particular very important.
It means that the Palestinian people know today that their cries and their efforts to reach to justice and accountability to the crimes committed against them are being implemented and advanced. Yes, justice sometimes takes much longer than bullets and bombs, but at the end of the day, we have reached a point of no return.
Well, the country of Jordan, that has been on the fence most of the time. However, Jordan came out strong sometime to criticize the current situation in Gaza and across the Middle East. Let's listen to what the ambassador of the foreign minister, so to point out, of Jordan, what he has to say with this as the global community continue to make sense of this particular decision. Let's take a listen and we will join you on the other side.
The Palestinian people deserve justice. Legal institutions exist to hold people accountable and to meet the requirements of justice, and therefore this decision must be treated with respect.
This particular conflict in the Middle East has divided the world from geopolitical blocks. You have China on one side, including Russia and other countries. You have the continent of Africa, where South Africa is leading in those areas. And you have the United States of America and some European allies. And Europe is divided. It's not all European countries like Sweden, Spain. They've come out strong to condemn the current activities that's going on in the country of Israel and Gaza. And the Palestinian people, I mean, what happening there, it's catastrophic if you look at the other aspect. I think that with the United States of America and its allies saying that the court does not have jurisdiction, I think it's a blatant misinformation. This is the double standard that the world have been talking about. And this war has actually shaped public opinion. There are different angles that you can look into it. But again, it all depends on what perspective you are looking at. More importantly, the most powerful countries are the ones that are pushing. And what you heard from the Hungarian Prime Minister and that also from other countries, I think if you look at the number of countries that stand against this, and it is really crucial for the country of Israel, and the Israeli Prime Minister must be very concerned because if you look at Russia's president, he travels to specific countries. He's very careful the way he moves. I think this goes also to remind the Israeli Prime Minister that it's not business as usual. And the fact that such a strong statement can come from Tel Aviv, it gives you an indication how serious this could be, because so many countries respect this particular ICC warrant. And let me not talk more about this. Let's give it to the DWTV analysts who can tell us a little bit more on how they perceive this particular arrest warrant and how it has shaken the geopolitical environment around the world. And then we will close this episode.
And our correspondent Rosie Burchard, who's in The Hague, sent this update on international reaction.
The new arrest warrants issued by this court in The Hague are certainly sparking international controversy, especially those issued against Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defence Chief Yoav Gallant. We've seen them swiftly condemned by the United States and by Israel, who says they make international justice into a laughing stock. Now, neither of those countries, the US or Israel, are state parties to the ICC, but 124 countries around the world are, and all of them legally are obliged to arrest anyone who's on the ICC's internationally wanted list who enters their territory. And that's why this is teeing up a whole load of diplomatic dilemmas lying ahead, especially for European Union countries, since the EU has in the past styled itself as one of the top supporters of the ICC. The EU's top diplomat, Josep Borrell, has been reminding member states that this is an independent court with legally binding decisions, while on the other hand we've seen Austria saying that the move to issue arrest warrants against the Israeli Prime Minister damages the court's credibility, and Hungary's gone so far as to say it would defy the arrest warrant and invite the Israeli Prime Minister to visit Hungary. Now, important to note that the internationally wanted label hasn't always in the past turned people into global pariahs. Russian President Vladimir Putin, for example, is also officially a suspected war criminal, but we've seen some international leaders still happy to shake his hand, and Mongolia did not arrest Vladimir Putin when he came to visit the country earlier this year, despite the fact that it was legally obliged to do so on paper. And that really shows the key limit of international law. There is no international police force that can swoop in and arrest suspected war criminals. Though that's why there's such a difference between arrest warrants being issued and ever seeing anyone on the court's internationally wanted list here in the dock in The Hague.
We want to thank you for watching. Hopefully we've informed you with regards to the current geopolitical situation in the country of Israel and the warrant of arrest from the ICC, and has sent shockwaves with regards to Israel's geopolitical partners. And let's look at what the next couple of weeks and months and years will be. But again, it will not be business as usual. We want to thank you for watching. We're looking forward to meeting you soon in our next episode. Have a good day. Bye-bye.